Great. So thank you all for the invitation. I'd like to acknowledge to the Amplify 2020 organization. I think thanks to Gigi Johnson to organize all these panels. There's a lot of great panels. I saw some of them yesterday, and I think that all of this information and ideas are really great for people that are looking to understand what is going on with the music industry and worldwide, right? So we had a lot of great ideas or understanding the reality of a lot of countries in all the planets. And also, I'm glad to moderate this panel and to start because we don't have a lot of time to speak a lot. I'd like to let the other panelists to introduce yourself. So Anna, can you tell the people about your job and what you're working on and about yourself? Anna? Yeah, can you unmute, please?
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
Sorry. Thank you. Hi, I'm Ana Rodriguez. I'm from Mexico. I've been a manager for the past 15 years. In the last year, I've been working along with Sergio and with Gerry Rosado, who is in this channel too, in a agency that is focusing on studies and developing narratives along the music industry. We were taking that path slow. So this crisis has pushed us really, really hard on getting our goals working like at the very moment. So it's been crazy the past 4 weeks. It's been a challenge, and it's been also inspiring to be thinking about the future and trying to find our way out of this and doing all for the music industry. So we are not working for our business, but we're working for our community. And in that sense, I think it's a blessing how we're addressing this crisis together. So this is me.
Cool. Nico, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Nicolás Madoery from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Thanks, Max, for the invitation, and thanks, Amplify. My work is divided in some things. I am specialized in digital strategies for projects in music, but not only with musical projects. I have an enterprise called 42 HERTIZIOS. With our enterprise, one part is a management part directed by my partner Diego Gnolovitz, and in this moment is in zero without the future. But we are rethinking the strategies, and this is one point I think to talk in this space. And also we have a record label called Concepto Zero, and in constantly transformation, and in this moment is key to understand what is a record label today, or what is the sense to work with the record label. And also is another question that 2 months ago I talked a lot about this with Gerry Rosado in Mexico. And also I represent the digital distributor Digital Music from to Argentina, Chile, Uruguay. For these things, these different words, we are thinking a lot in this moment. Also, we work a lot in education, in process to transform the musical sector. And it's interesting because we are thinking every time in how we need to think in a new musical sector or a new music industry, but this in this moment this thing that before the coronavirus it was like an optional thing, like thinking a new musical sector. In this moment is necessary or is not one option. Is obligatory to think the future, because we are living I don't know, the biggest transformation in the society in a lot of time, and we are thinking in big. Thanks.
Cool, thank you. And introduce now Gerry. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Max. How are you? Thank you, everybody. Hello to everybody. Thank you, Amplify Music, for all the great work. It's been it's a lot of work doing this, and we are very proud to be here. Me as Gerry Rosado, I founded a label 25 years ago called Intolerancia, an independent label. I run it through these years in different stages, and right now, as Ana said, we joined together with Ana, Sergio Arbeláez, and me, and we are creating this agency that tries to help to the professionalization of the sector, and the main goal of this agency has to do with vinculating music with other sectors, vinculating music not just with the music industry as we know it, but also identifying other ways music can be related to other things. Right now, with this, obviously, with the coronavirus crisis, we have a lot of work to do. We have to understand the particular characteristics of Mexico, of Latin America, how to vinculate that with other in the world industry, and how to vinculate the different ways music can be related to other structures nationally and internationally. And well, we choose that task, and right now it's the only task we can do because of this crisis. No, it's the more urgent task we have to aim to. No, so well, right now we are very busy trying to help the sector here in Mexico, and trying to define what could be the different scenarios from this point. So I'm really happy to be in something like this, that is exactly what can make to grow the knowledge and to grow the ideas to be able to get through this crisis and go to this new future that is growing day by day.
Great. Cool. Thank you, Gerry, and thank you all, guys, to participate in this panel. It is going to be really interesting. And also, thank you all the people that are participating as an audience in this topic, which is called Challenges for a Society That Understands Itself Through the Public Gathering. So the idea here is to try to understand a little of the context of all the countries in Latin America. So in terms of that, how the music industry is responding to gathering, and how are we relating with the audiences in general. So to start a little of the context of the countries in Latin America, I like to understand a little more about what are happening in your respective countries. In Mexico, you, Ana and Gerry, could make a little perspective of Mexico, and Nico, obviously, of Argentina, which is facing, I think, one of the most painful situations for the culture industry, as it is in a lockdown period. So, Ana, can you tell us about how is Mexico doing, because it had a little delay in the lockdown process.
Hi. Well, I think, to be honest, I think that the challenge of learning how to recognize ourselves now that the public gatherings are not happening anymore, it's something that it's not only a challenge for Mexico, but as you said, we in one side we are used to do it all the time. Festivals here are the way out for music, so it's like the main goal of everyone to get to the masses. You know, we are a country that consumes music and that it puts the value of music in the masses. So this is going to be a real challenge. I think we don't even know how we're going to do it right now. There are obviously, as everywhere, a lot of things going on online, but I don't think we are yet there with the response of which type of content will be needed now that I think for a pretty long period of time, things will be consumed at home. I don't know, like one of the questions that still in my mind, like every day, it's if being a discoverer will acquire the value that he had before. Like in my teens, I remember that I was really proud of listening to music that it was not from the masses. That like it doesn't have value anymore. You know, it's not that I don't hear young people saying or feeling proud that they listen to music that not a lot of people know about.
For sure.
We are so used to be part of like huge communities that often they solve the problem of even having us to make our own decisions. Communities help us to give us guidance and meaning, and it solves that problem of everyone having to take care of their own self, like having to find their own way. So I don't know if with this, the content of niche, like the niche content will acquire any more value than it had 4 weeks ago. This is something that I've been talking, obviously, with Gerry and Sergio, and I mean, I would love Gerry to listen to what he has thought about this. How we'll be proposing content that has value from itself and not from being part of a massive thing, you know?
Right.
And on the other side, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did I hold it? On the other side, we've been seeing that the type of music that is being consumed right now, it's not high energy music. It's not really loud music and happy music, and I don't know. I'm still thinking how that will impact Latin content, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that all people are trying to think of is what kind of content do we have to make, especially artists, because we are not doing live music anymore, at least for a huge period of time. So, Gerry, what are your thoughts about basically how is Mexico behaving in terms of the communities, and how are they responding to the new formats of content from artists you are working with?
Well, right now, I think we are struggling with different kind of things. One thing that I think is very important is to understand that maybe Mexico hasn't understand it really well yet, but I think it's the right moment to understand the part of the user, not the consumer, but the user of music, how it's a part of the whole system, and how we have to address the user to consume, to change a little bit some habits, because that's the way they can help, really. If we move the skip factor, the people really listen 45 seconds of the pieces, and gives opportunity to new artists, and it's more curious, and it's like a more responsible consume of music, like a conscious consume of music. Maybe that can help a little bit to like to spread all around the content things. But as Anna said, I think it's going to be an aesthetic outcome from this crisis, in terms of that can affect many of the Latin American genres, because people right now is not listening to music addressed to the body. Is just listening music addressed to the mind, and to the peace of mind, even. No, so, everything is going more introspective. I have never listened so much silence in Mexico as far as I remember. No, from all my life, I have never listened that much silence in the Mexico City. We are a society that uses music to mask the noise, and create more noise, and I think that we mask the noise, and we mask with music, because we don't want to listen to our own thoughts. So right now we are listening to our own thoughts, and it's complicated. It's a new relationship, because as the theme of this specific panel, Latin America, and particularly like the tropical and equatorial part of Latin America, it's very well. No, I think Argentina is also the same. We need the gathering as the space, as the safest space, is the space of the community, is the space of the disobedience, is the space out of the authority. So, but I think that it's also very recent. I think that all Latin America and 30 years ago wasn't able to gather. No, it was like a problem. It was suspicious or subversive to be gathered. So we have been celebrating our sort of freedom, and a different relationship with authority for this last 30 years, 25 years, depending on the place. And right now, what I think is that we are facing a new kind of response from Latin America. We have to take conscious of what before was like a natural response to the previous state. But I think that we are really I think this coronavirus crisis had put end to an age, and we are changing to a different age where we have to go through organization, to homologation with other countries, to be more conscious of intellectual property. We have to get in order the house if we want to survive in that way. I think those are the challenges right now.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I've been participating in some panels that are organized by an organization called Q&A. It is an organization from LA, actually, and they are talking with a lot of professionals in that industry, and they are talking that probably public gatherings like festivals or I don't know, matches in sports are going to normalize in 2021 or even in 2022. So it is really a challenge in Latin America, I think is, I don't know if it has some delay in respect of other countries like, I don't know, Australia or South Korea, but the things that we're now starting to understand what's going on and what kind of actions we could take in order to help to take people in audiences to the music of the artists that we're working with, and also to help them with their anxiety, because as you said, and Anna also said, that the gathering of people in this type of shows, etc., are very important for them. Latin America especially is a region where people really like to gather. Actually, as you said, in Argentina, people really like football. Football is a really famous sport there, and music also. Well, you have a lot of great artists in your history in Mexico and Argentina. So we have around 6 minutes to end our panel. So I'd like to ask a couple of questions to end this conversation. So Anna, oh no. I'd like to. I'm sorry, what? Cool. So, Nico, I'd like to ask you a really important question, because as I was thinking before, that Argentina is facing, I think, one of the most painful situations, because it is in an obligatory lockdown. So I'd like to understand how is the government facing this situation? Are they supporting the cultural and musical sector there? And do you have some thoughts about it that you could share with the audience?
Yes, I think it's an special situation, but I think it's a necessary situation. We are, in general, the cultural sector is agree with the decision, because in this moment is not a happy news, but it's necessary to continue or to cross this moment. And it's complicated, I think, because there are some points, but in general it's the same, because if it's obligatory or if it's not obligatory, the changes are developing, or the changes are, we are living the same situation in this society. You can decide to go a place, but if you haven't an offer to consume, it's the same. And we are thinking that this is the beginning. This is like the first step for a lot, and the heart of the situation is the cross the change with the challenge in the same time. In particular in Argentina, with the economic crisis developing every time, and how we recover the musical sector after this, of the cultural sector, and how we can put the cultural sector in an agenda, and for that, this is a big challenge, because we need to work really together, because it's not only how Gerry and Anna says, we are crossing also the consume change, the change of consume. You can read, and they are a very cool report for media research about the change of consume, and how the people begin to consume more moods and moments, and not the genres or music for the transport medium. And for that, I think we need to try to be cold in a moment, and think in the future, and how we transform this. How Cedric said in the before panel, in an opportunity, and how we need to the possibility to do visible the music for the brands or for the state, and to understand in this moment of in a crisis, the culture has an important role to recover the relationships or to recover the social trust. But we need to put in the table that that we know, like the normal is we change, and we need to build a new normal for the future, and this is a challenge. And in Argentina, I think it will be hard, because the crisis and the economic crisis, I think, because we are beginning in a process to work together in the different parts of the value chain in the music industry, like the manager with the record labels and the venues, and this is a key. I think a key for every war to recover the musical sector. How they build the strategies together for the future.
For sure. One of the things that I like to share, and I share totally what you said, Nico, which is we have to collaborate more. I'd like to understand a little more what is the IMMF also doing, if they're taking some actions to collaborate, just like the concept you were talking about, Nico, and also about the governments, because Latin America is a region that works a lot alongside with the governments. I know that in Argentina, INAMU, which is sort of an agency of like, it is not a public agency, but it is like an institution that are supporting artists with a fund, I think. And also Mexico, as Ana were saying here in the chat, that are making a fund for musicians and technicians, which I think is really cool. And I think that could be great if you, Ana, could share a little more about this fund, because all countries have these public funds that are helping in this emergency to all the people that are working in the industry. I'd like you, if you want to tell us about some last thoughts that you'd like to share with us, guys. We don't have more time to discuss more questions, but anything you'd like to share before we went could be great. And thank you.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you.
I would like just to point out something that Gerry started talking about, and it has to do with this question that Stitch is throwing to us in the chat. It's not just about doing or getting together funds. We're trying to do it in Mexico through the Music Mexico COVID-19, putting together a fund for musicians and technicians. But it's more about rethinking on the consumption of music. So if we get our way to make awareness in the listener that he's not just the last part of the change of value in music, but like a part of the whole engineering and the whole process of creation, consumption, and incomes in the industry, I think we will find new ways of making incomes in this new normal. So, at least from my side, I'm trying to put my mind on that side more than finding ways to get money to be donated. Okay, so it's just a two-way of addressing the same problem. It's obvious that we need to help the people in the industry to get money to pay the rent and just to survive. but at the same time, we're urged to start thinking on new ways of making income in this new normal. So I think that what Gerry was talking about, it's going to be essential for us to imagine new ways of getting income for musicians.
For sure. It is something that we have to try to look for how we could make new incomes, new ways to get those new incomes, probably from donations or how we could start working in new ways with government, etc., in order to get through this period. So, some final thoughts, Gerry?
Yeah, well, I think that there are going to be like 4 or 5 places to put music. I think that returning slowly to normality, maybe, well, I don't think it's going to be the last normality, but the new normality. We are going to find that very small musical events, very, very small musical events are going to be addressed in a different way. I think it's gonna be useful for music that hasn't been listening before, like a recreation of the night. I think the virtual reality has to do a lot of things to create social gathering, social virtual gathering, to really identify what kind of experience the people would like to have if it's not the live experience. I think the game industry has a lot. The video game industry has a lot to do right now with music. I think that in other ways we have to understand other ways of sharing the music in terms of what's its this new value that we're discovering right now as a tool of healing in the society. Right now, I think that's a very important place, and I think that we have to well, what I would like the most is that the platforms disappear the number of reproductions. That would be a very nice thing to do in this crisis, to change the possibilities of developing the music, and not just the music industry. Not just the music as a big business, but as something sustainable for everyone. I think those are like places where we could go.
Great, thank you very much, Gerry and Anna. Nico, would you want to?
Yes. I agree with Gerry and Anna, and I think this the new concept of experience after this, that we crossing the live experience. I think it will be some mixed with the digital or and the live, or you can this kind of experiments with a video game or with the virtual reality live experience. It will be a constant, and in a live experience you can stay in a place, or you can stay in your home, and like two different spaces, but both can be great or different, or for the different public. But in the live, I think this, and in the consume of the music, people, I think it would be more in your houses or with the different trust in the world, and people go begin to or grow in. I think the technology for listening music in the house, like the smart speakers or different things to build to stay better in your home, can be great for the music.
Great, cool. Thank you, Nico. So again, thank you all for participating in this panel, Nico, Gerry, and Anna. And also thank you a lot, KCG, for organizing this event, and all to the audience, which, as Anna said before, is not the final part of the value chain. It is really important because we have to understand you in order to understand what kind of things we can do to help you in terms of tools or sharing thoughts, ideas, or also to to make something for you to help you to get through this old period. So again, I'd like to thank you a lot for participating in this, and hope to see you soon, guys, because it is a long time we have not seen before each other. So for sure, for the audience, feel free to ask us different things in Slack. We're going to be available for you if you have other questions, so we could help you with. Thanks again, and take care, guys.